There we go. Cool.
Awesome. I'll let him in.
Cool.
I'm bummed we're not wearing matching
I
templates.
know. I'll do it next time though. I'll give you a heads up.
Yeah, cool. Because I've got a t-shirt too, so if it's warm weather,
Yeah, yeah.
we'll match.
Awesome.
Hello, hello. Hold on
Hello.
one second.
Good
Hey,
Hey,
morning.
John.
morning.
How are ya?
Sorry, I'm 1 minute late. I just had to set the kids up with it's school holiday, so I had to set the kids up with a movie.
Oh,
As you
that's
do.
totally.
Mine is still asleep, dude. Still asleep.
All
It's
right, because it's earlier over there, man. Lucky for you.
Well,
Yeah,
he'll.
yeah.
Oh,
7 a.m. for
it,
Andrew.
it's 7, but like he will. The kid will sleep.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, our kids are up like running around at 6:30. It's a pain in the ass, but well,
Yeah.
it is
He's
what
the
it is.
he's the youngest of six, so I'm glad it's over.
Oh, yeah, cool. You're on the final stretch, bro. Good on you.
The rest of them are in their 20s.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So final stretch.
Yeah, that is definitely the final stretch, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big stretch too.
Yeah. Should have bought a telly.
Look, I'll leave you guys to it. Andrew, John,
Okay, awesome.
Andrew, this is
Thanks. We,
Andrew.
we've actually met before.
Oh,
Oh,
was
At,
it? Awesome.
yeah, Sandstone Point. Whatever shows you were doing.
Where's that, bro?
So it's
A
Bribey
sandstone
Island.
point. Oh, yeah, yeah. That was awesome, man. I love
Yeah,
that.
that was one of those festival venues.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Fucking loved
Yeah,
it.
but you got a new album coming out on Friday.
Yeah,
That's
man.
more important. Way more important.
It is. It is. Well, I suppose it is. Yeah, I mean, it's what's happening right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
So a lot of people are going to get a different vibe from Shihad, and I think that's really cool because it shows you wear different hats. Um,
Yeah.
for you, when you're sitting down to write an album, are you going, "Oh, that'll work for Shihad, that'll work for solo," or it's just like this is just coming out?
This was man. I never intended to make a solo record. What happened to me was basically had a tumultuous sort of fucking personal just carnage during the COVID lockdowns. We were in Melbourne. I lived in Melbourne for 22 years.
Yeah,
We were doing the lockdowns in Melbourne. Then I got a call from my brother saying, "Mum's dying. She's in Wellington." I couldn't get back. Like a lot of people went through the same fucking shit. Had to say goodbye on the phone. Because I was the youngest of three and we're really tight, me and my mum. She held on in a coma for like 12 days, and then my elder brother and sister who were there by her bed had to call me and go, "John, you're going to have to tell her that it's okay to go." So I was the one that had to do that thing. "Hey, mum, you've been a great mum. We're going to be fine. You can let go." And then she did die the next day, but it was pretty weird not being there to hold her hand, man. Like
mm,
you know, and there was just no way to get there. And then following that, when we finally did come out of lockdown, and I was on tour in Aotearoa in New Zealand, and then the Omicron thing happened over here in New Zealand. I
yeah,
got stuck away from the wife and kids who were in Melbourne for 3.5 months. No flights
mm,
between countries. Couldn't tell them when I was going home. My wife was losing her mind with these two young kids in lockdown in Melbourne with no help. So we made a decision as a family to, if we got a MIQ spot, we'd move back to New Zealand. Even though we loved living in Melbourne, it was just like, well, a lot of my work's here. Can't afford for this shit to happen again. And then it was like, okay, cool, we moved back. Then I caught COVID, and I got this weird COVID complication that turned my tinnitus up blisteringly loudly.
wow.
And like I've had tinnitus because I've been standing next to Tom's China symbol for like,
Yeah,
19 years old, 18 years old. So I've always had it, but I've always been able to deal with it. So I go and see a band and it's going to be bad when I go home. But if I take it easy the next day, that'll fade back into the distance. I'll be able to deal with it. This was like a car alarm going off in my head that woke me up out of a dream 2 weeks after I caught COVID. And then and it just stayed. And I like that first night, I was like, fuck, what the fuck's going on? Ended up in A&E after not sleeping for 36 hours and then just fucking dousing me
uh,
with Zopiclone and fucking lorazepam to knock me out. I'm having full blown fucking panic attacks, man. It's like because it was like literally like a car alarm going off in my head, and when you don't understand what's going on with your body, it's like what the fuck. And so basically, after going to see fucking all the top throat specialists in New Zealand, went to the Auckland University Tinnitus Clinic, which they've got a really progressive fucking tinnitus clinic there. That didn't work. I went and saw a cognitive behavioral therapist, which is what someone suggested to me, because it's all attention based, and the sound's not coming from your ears, it's coming from your brain, right? So it's like, she was like, okay, we've got to wind your nervous system back because your brain thinks you're in danger. So unfortunately, with tinnitus, you can't meditate because silence is the enemy, because if you're in a silent room,
Yep.
tinnitus sounds louder. So, but she went, what's another form of mindfulness? Well, fucking playing a guitar is. And so I picked up my guitar and I started to fucking play. And just like, I was only allowed to do it in sort of hour-long chunks because too much micro-focusing is bad for the tinnitus as well. So I just wrote and wrote. And because of all the shit we'd been through as a family, I needed some gentle sounds. I didn't want to be writing ridiculously apocalyptically heavy rock riffs. I went back to this instrument, which is the instrument I started on when I was 7 years old and my parents bought me a 3/4 size nylon string acoustic. And that's what I started on. And I just went back to that because I needed, as a 53-year-old dude who'd lost his parents, started to lose his mind because of this fucking COVID thing and been separated and then moved house and, with all these young kids and shit. I just needed to make sense of what we'd been through. And so I needed music that went, there, mate. It's all right. Like it's actually okay. Life's still beautiful. There's your daughter running around. They're healthy, happy, just to refocus me on, okay, well, what's important. And so that music, Last Lonely Gods is that. That's the album. It's music that I needed to hear after all that shit I've been through, that made it okay to be in this world, and it's all profound shit. When you lose both parents, my dad had passed away 12 years prior. It makes you go, shit, I'm the last, the last line of defense. There's nothing between me and the universe anymore, bro. It's like, and you're the adult in the room all of a sudden, and it's like, man, I still feel like an 18-year-old.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, it's a bit of it's a profound one, and it's I remember the day that Mum finally passed, it was like a feeling of vertigo, like shit, it's just me and the universe now. Oh, and my kids and my wife and and my friends and stuff, but there's nothing between me and the universe anymore.
Yeah.
So all this music was about thinking about those big things, but needing it to be delivered in a way that was just like it held me, like rather than went.
Yeah.
I wasn't angry at what had happened. I was sad, but I was also like, shit, I gotta think about life in a different way, because watching my dad sort of like turn to me, when he passed away, because I was managed to hang out with him for the 3 months before he died. He just went, oh fuck, that went really quick, and it does as you get older, and I was thinking, right, so a song like Gravity's dealing with that idea. It's like, okay, well, if that's how quick it goes, I better make sure that every day is really important, and I get something out of every day that I'm on this planet,
It's funny you mentioned Gravity, actually, because to me, I go, was that meant to be an electric song? Because I hear like you on a big ass stage with a really loud guitar.
For sure. But no, I mean, it all started on a.
Yep.
I mean, it's basically, I suppose it's like a AC/DC riff played on an acoustic.
Yeah.
But it had a nice up feeling to it. I know it is. I suppose it is a rock song, but I mean, hey, I've spent fucking 33 years in a rock band, so I'm always at some point I'm always gonna default back to that shit.
Whereas, like, Shouldn't Leave Her Like That for me, and I never like to draw comparisons because everyone takes everything differently, but it could have ended up on a fucking Beatles album, dude. It's so Beatlesy. It's such a good vibe.
Yeah,
there's some nice layering in it without the modern, the modern production techniques where let's just layer 52 labels of layers of different shit on it and see how it sounds. It's very stripped back, but you can pick out each individual track quite well.
Yeah, totally. So basically, I worked with this Australian producer called Scott Horscroft, who he's the guy, he co-wrote, Silverchair's Straight Lines, which I think it's my favorite song.
Yeah.
You know, I love that song. And which is why I chose them, because I had all these songs. It was like in the form that I'd written or recorded them, it was just basically Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska. It was like acoustic guitar vocal, really stripped back. But the record company went, "Fine, we can put it out like that if you want." I was like, "Yeah, man." Shihad worked with Scott Horscroft about when we were going to make the Beautiful Machine album, and at that time he showed me, you know, all these different techniques. I was going, "Whoa, this is cool," but I think I was a bit scared of how pop it was. But I went mental note to self, that guy's super talented. We didn't end up using him. Um, and but when I'd done these songs, I was like, man, I'd love to hear what Scott thought about the arrangement of this track or production ideas. Because I was so involved in the lyrics and getting the story across. I just wanted someone from the outside who was talented to go, well, maybe we should try this. And all he wanted to do was get really good players to play on it. Like, so a pianist called Andy Mack, who lives in the Central Coast, New South Wales. A violin player from Sydney, Jennifer, I can't remember her second name, I'm sorry. And this young drummer called Harry Day from an Australian band called Middle Kids.
Okay.
And like with all of them, it was like, okay, we're really going for a nostalgic sort of, because I'm thinking about my childhood a lot. And I'm born in 1971, so I'm thinking about the records that I listened to when I was young, like Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, you know, Fleetwood Mac Rumors, you know, all those sort of tones and stuff. So we're thinking like that. All of those records are just really good performances. There's no trickery. It's just like, make sure you get the fucking, you know, the violin track, a really
Yep.
good one, great piano part, played really well. And we just went hard on okay, in this world of AI, we're going to go as human as fucking possible.
Yeah.
Basically. Let's make sure that the song arrangement's good, it's played well, it's sung well, and then let the players just run. And fucking it was beautiful to watch these amazingly talented musicians sort of interpret these songs that I'd written, you know, like and yes, I'm Beatles head from way back, and I take it as a massive compliment that you brought their name up, because that's like, to me, I was 2 years old, and that's the first memory of music was watching Beatles' Hard Day's Night record go around on my parents' record player and going, whoa, what is this magic, man? Fuck me, you know, this because they wrote the rule book, man. So yeah, and I think as I've been getting older, I definitely default back to the classics a lot, you know,
Yep.
like, you know, if Master of Puppets comes on, I'm still cool with that. You know, if I hear Raining Blood, I'm cool with that too. But as a listener, I'm like, I want to listen to Bowie. I want to listen to the Beatles.
Yep.
I want to listen to Bob Dylan a lot, because I never understood him when I was a kid, but now I sort of do as an older dude. So I'm listening to words and structure, you know, a lot more.
Yep.
You know, yeah.
I'll go on back on a Queen kick.
Queen. Well, see, Queen Live Killers is probably one of my first records as well. And that was only because I had an older brother that had that record.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing about having older siblings, because they tend to bring home records that you can go, yeah.
That you steal.
Yeah, totally. And Queen Live Killers was like, woo. That was. I know it's a live record, but it's a greatest hits record at that time. You know, like.
Yeah. Well, so we're only a few years apart, so we grew up with the same kind of music. So
Yeah, right.
for me, when I think about what you're saying about the musicians on your album, basically the way we look at music is it's more important to know your instrument than a computer. So get your shit done before you go in that room.
Absolutely.
Have your homework done. And you can tell even with some of the drumming on the album, there's no overplaying. It's very Ringo-y, very little bit, you know, little bit from that time frame, not to date it.
Yeah.
But it's simplicity. It's
simplicity.
Let's not overthink this, but let's make it right.
Yeah, so I was definitely thinking. I think is the drummer on Goodbye Yellow Brick Road Nigel Olsson. I think it's Nigel Olsson. For some reason, when I saw Harry play, I was like, yeah, just think of that dude when you're playing, because there's a really nice swing to that band, you know, especially around that era. They'd been on tour obviously for a long time, and they were fucking tight. And it's amazing to me how much of a band sound that happens on that record. I mean, on the Last Line of God's record, because it's like we just met each other, you know, like, and it was
Yeah.
just like I let them run, you know, and I think that's why it sounds good, is because I wasn't going, oh, you've got to play like this and make sure you hit the snare there and do a fill here. I was just sitting back and watching these super talented people bring their A game, you know, like you let talented people do what they do and they'll reward you, I reckon. You know, that's
Yeah.
it's a sort of power of collaboration, you know.
So you're going to be here in November too, which I
Yeah,
love,
man.
up here in Brizzy. What
Yep.
kind of mix are we going to expect out of the set?
So yeah, I definitely want to. I mean, the record's only 37 minutes long, so I want to play while I'm in love with it. I want to play it, so I'm going to
Yep.
play it. It was all written on that instrument, so I'm going to just bring my Martin D18. Yeah, boy,
Yep.
I love this guitar, and my HC28, which is my other Martin, and that gets a hammer. The other one gets a hammering, and this one will do all the new songs.
Yep.
And then I think for the rest of the thing, I'll do acoustic interpretations of particular Shihad tracks that I'm super proud of, and that work on the acoustic guitar. But then also a trip through maybe some shit that I grew up listening to as a kid, whether it's Bowie, whether it's Motorhead, whether it's you know, like it
If
goes
you if you do an acoustic version of Ace of Spades, I will throw money at you for sure.
yeah, okay, cool, sweet. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's
Like,
definitely on the cards, bro.
that would be fucking hysterical. It'd be like some sort of hee-haw shit.
It works, dude. It works. Like it was one of the first fucking songs I ever I think Shihad ever learned as a cover.
Brilliant.
You know,
I better bring a full wallet.
working, bro.
All right,
Yeah.
mate. I'm going to let you go.
Thanks.
I'll see you in November because I'll be at the Brizzy show for sure.
Awesome. Hey, great talk, Andrew. Have a good day.
Congrats on
Enjoy.
the album, mate. It's fucking killer.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Okay.
All right. See ya.
See you, bro.